Yo! What up, everybody? It's your boy Cask King here, back at you another fucking live stream, and we're here with the Cask King Crew podcast. And I'm here with my brother Krusty,
Oh, yeah?
and I'm here with my good friend Floyd.
Yes, what's going on, chat?
Fuck yeah, everybody.
Yeah, we just chilling right now. We've been doing a little bit of the drinky drink.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
the only sober one here right now.
yeah, and we've actually been chilling out talking for like an hour up until now. You guys
Hour,
have
we've been
missed it.
talking for the past 2 hours.
Shit.
Has it been 2 hours?
Yeah, we started hanging out at 5.
I wasn't here at 5. I was right. I didn't join till 5:30.
Yeah, you didn't
No,
join until like 5:30.
I messaged Casket and I said, hangout room.
Yo, Gaz Ninja 76, what's up?
What up, guys? Ninja 76. How you doing? You tell me I'm drinking less than 4 beers in an hour and a half. God, my pacing. Well, boys, did you see what the Supreme Court voted on today?
No, I didn't.
Exactly. We don't talk politics here.
Exactly.
We'll save that for another day. You know, I really wanted to talk about this amazing book that I've read recently. It's one of the best books ever on the market. I can't remember the name of it though. Fuck me.
Bend over.
All right, Daddy.
I told you not to call me that in public.
We're in public.
We are live.
I'm in my bedroom.
So am I.
Good Lord.
God almighty on the mountain.
Exactly, Floyd. Exactly, man.
You know, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but we were talking about God of War a little bit earlier, and I kind of want to bring it up. Do you think they'll get to the point in the game series where they go through all the religions?
You know, if you want to, I could bring Jaffe on sometime.
It's interesting you bring that up because in God of War, is it 1 or 2, maybe 3, but one of the original 3, you go through a room and it has pictures on this wall and it predicts like what the next game's going to be or different events in human history or Greek mythology. But there's one picture in a room that it shows 3 kings walking through a desert, and which it kind of makes sense. I'm not saying they're going to, but no one still to this day knows what it's supposed to mean. But 3 kings walking through a desert to meet a baby pretty much means Jesus Christ.
Oh man,
Right.
is Kratos gonna have to fight baby Jesus?
You know who you could ask is Jaffe. I have direct contact with Jaffe on Discord. I can have him on the podcast. You know he has his own podcast, right? Like, he has his own podcast. He knows who I am. He's forgiven me for everything that's happened. We're on good terms. But I've spoken with Jaffe a few times now, and, I mean, he has a daily podcast now. He goes live every day on his YouTube channel. That's the literal script writer for God of War.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'll share this with the chat. It says 3 travelers heading towards an unknown.
The person that can answer that question would straight up be Jaffe. He would be the one to tell you exactly.
Yeah, I guess he's the one that wrote it.
Yeah, he's the guy who's written the entire storyline for fucking Kratos. Like, who else would know besides the story writer? You know what I mean?
They never came out and said what that meant, because everything else in this room when you're playing the game, like the Great Titan War and stuff like that, but this part here, you could walk up to this picture
Oh, damn.
and read it, and three travelers heading to an unknown destiny, you know, so the three kings, Jesus Christ. But I don't think they'd ever put him
Is
in.
the ultimate enemy going to be Jesus Christ himself? All right, Kratos, you got to sacrifice Jesus on the cross. Oh my God, that would be
It'd be the
funny as
most
fuck.
brutalest fatality ever.
It would be.
Here's a fun fact. Do you know who? I mean, Kratos died a bunch of times during God of War games, but in different ways. But who could kill Kratos in battle, like if it was one-on-one? Weird. I butchered that question. Kratos died many of times throughout the game series, you know, by the hands of Zeus and this or that, but he went back through time. But in a fair fight, there was only one person that actually killed Kratos. In a fair fight, without no bullshit aside.
Who is it?
Thor.
Damn.
Thor kills Kratos in the beginning. Hopefully, I'm not spoiling the God of War series for the
A little
viewers.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, I should shut up.
Spoiler.
I'll shut up.
Yeah, so it's okay. It's okay. But I will tell you, though, I wish the historian and Jeff were here, but I guess they're off, you know, doing their own thing this Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe they're drinking. Maybe they're drinking too, but
Oh, there goes the little man.
Yeah, historian Jeff, if you're there, historian, I know you're fucking drinking. It's a Friday night. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's get into one of our intellectual debatey things. I'm drunk enough to do it. Let's do it.
Blump, what's up?
What up, Blump?
Hey, Blump. Is Blump in the chat on YouTube?
Yeah.
Blump, I hope you're having a good night, my man. So, guys, I wanted to talk about, like, you know how Ethan Klein has started those, he released the video saying that he was going to be suing those three creators, like Tron and whatnot.
Right.
Well, they have been served now. And some of their response videos to being served is absolutely priceless. I've never seen people play the victim card so hard. You should watch the Tron serve video from, like, it is, like, this is absolutely someone that can't take accountability for their own actions. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen. I can't wait for the lawsuits to go through, honestly. This is going to be a land-breaking lawsuit because going forward, there will be something that can be referenced when it comes to, you know, like, what do they call it? What do those people call it whenever they, reactor content. It's going to be land-breaking for reactor content. I'm pretty fucking hyped, man. I don't know if y'all been keeping up with that, but definitely put it on your radar.
I have been keeping up with it a little bit here and there. I at least know what's going on.
I have not, but I'll keep an eye out for it for now, for sure.
Well, see, what I think is kind of fucked is the day that he released the video saying that he was going to sue them, Tron released a message on Twitter stating, "Oh, he's trying to take my weed money away. Don't let him do that, guys. Donate to my Cash App." Boom, she got donations, and now her tune's completely changed. Like, a couple of days ago, she got served with a real fucking, you got to go to court, you're really being sued later. And now she's crying and saying, "Oh, I'm a female creator. I hate being victimized. I hate being, you know, treated differently." And I'm like, girl, you broke the law. Like, you know, you have no one to blame but yourself for breaking the fucking law.
Yeah.
It doesn't come down to you're a woman and he's a man. It comes down to the fact that what you did was done literally in malicious purposes. Like, you specifically restreamed it for the sake of him not getting viewership on something that was absolutely copyrighted by him. That's you being malicious and him making you accountable for it. That's the truth at the end of the day. And she's going to have to go to court. I can't wait to see how much these people are going to have to end up paying. it's obviously we may never actually know if it's settled out of court. I don't know how much money these people have, but if he truly wants to run them through the ringer, he won't let them settle out of court. He'll actually make them go through the whole freaking process. Any opinions?
I hope he does.
Great. I hope he does too. Do you guys have anything you want to bring up or talk about?
Steam Summer Sale started yesterday.
Oh yeah, what's been interesting on the Steam Summer Sale?
Just about everything is on sale for ridiculous prices.
Have you been buying any new games that you'll never play?
I didn't buy any games, but I did pick up 2 DLCs that were very cheap.
For what games?
I've started playing Dead by Daylight, so I picked up a killer and a survivor.
Hell yeah.
Since we're on gaming, I say the hell with Steam to a point. Buy physical copies and play those copies in the consoles they were built to play.
Speaking of buying,
I agree.
Because at heart, I'm a retro gamer. Casket, you've seen my retro collection or the games I have.
Okay.
I don't even own a PS5 yet, man.
what are your thoughts about modern consoles? If you buy a physical copy, the only thing on the cartridge is a key code, and you still have to download the game, and it's still a digital game. Literally, the cartridge itself is nothing more than a key code in digital form.
Yeah, it's stupid, but I don't know.
No, I believe it is, because if like that still means that you have to have internet. Like, for example, Floyd, let's say you went and bought a Switch 2, and you bought, like, for example, any Switch game, like or like a random Switch game, right? You put it in your Switch, and you think you're going to be playing that fucking game because you bought the cartridge. You should own that game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. But without internet, you can never play it because it's just a serial code that unlocks the ability to download it.
That's why gaming now is so... I think gaming now got away from what it really used to mean. Like, at least for a physical collector of things, like I'm a physical collector of movies and music and games, but I'm not going to ramble on about myself here. But anyways, that's why when you buy a physical copy of a game, it should be the disc, the cartridge, the manual, the case, everything included. Not something you just download on your internet.
For $80, you know. I'm sorry to cut you off, but for $80, there better be a manual and some sort of tactile item in there, a sticker, a patch, something for $80 fucking dollars.
Because I'm sure
for $80 bucks, there should be at least the goddamn game on the cartridge.
At least,
or at least help you wipe your ass a little bit.
Yeah, a piece of toilet paper, so that way you can wipe off your tears.
If the cart is useless, at least make it taste good so I can suck on it while I play.
Yeah. At least I think we're all old enough to remember, you know, I'm sure you've had memories of a significant other, you know, a parent or guardian, you know, taking you to the game store, and on the ride home, it's the most cliche thing to say, but it's such a fun thing to talk about. Like, remember getting a new video game at the game store, whether it be GameStop or your local game store, and like having that physical copy of the game in your hands, and you break it open, you're reading the manual on the ride home, and you can't wait to put it in your PS2 or NES and just, you know.
That was the best. I will tell you right now, I remember being a kid with a Nintendo 64, going to the fucking Blockbusters and getting the Pokemon Stadium.
Yeah, on the N64, bro.
Yeah, and I will tell you right now, I was the happiest fucking kid in the world. And you know what? Like, video game rentals isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah.
It should be.
You either pay full price or you ain't playing no goddamn games.
I feel like if someone could figure it out, not saying like make a blockbuster thing, but I feel like a blockbuster thing can come of surgeons, maybe. I mean, everyone does everything digitally. I mean, that's just how the society we live in. But I feel like there's a good group enough of people that still would like to walk into a store like that and like rent a movie instead of renting it digitally. Yeah, it's right there, but like, you take your significant other out to I never got to experience that because I was a kid, but like going to a Blockbuster and, you're with mom and dad or whatever and you're renting a movie and you get like popcorn or like a snack and, I think we should go back to that as a society, but that's just my selfish thinking.
It's never going to go back to that, my man, but I wish so as well. Yeah, like with the changes of the technology, you can't talk about that without talking about AI. Did you see this last week? I got 2 stories about AI here. I don't know which one to start with. You know what? Okay, I'm going to start with Google. Google fired thousands of employees in the last week because AI can now do their jobs. If anyone tells you out there that AI is not going to be replacing jobs, go ahead and tell them they already are. Literally, what was it? Facebook announced that over 80% of their coding going forward will be AI. Like in Microsoft, the same thing. And now Google has fired thousands of employees. And it's only a matter of time. Okay, right now we're talking about tech-style jobs. But we have ChatGPT 5 coming down the pipeline. Real soon, in the next 6 weeks, ChatGPT 5 will be here. It's an all-in-one encompassing AI program that has the capabilities of utilizing agents, and it'll switch between modalities depending on the prompt that is given on its own. It's going to be the next generation. It's going to make things even easier. You don't have to worry about going to different programs or different AI models. This is going to be the one that does everything, and it's self-improving. Like, more jobs are going to be taken away. It's a matter of time. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
I'm scary to think about, but I agree with you, man.
Yeah, what do you think what's going to happen to society because of this?
I know exactly what's going to happen because Detroit Became Human has done the same thing. It's like all these androids took all these jobs, and now there's all these homeless people, and people are starting to revolt against the androids, kind of.
I agree, but I disagree.
Oh, sorry. But it's like they also depend on them, so it's like they want to revolt against them, but it's like, I need my android, you know?
Well, Floyd says he agrees and disagrees. Let's hear his argument.
Yeah, let's hear him.
I'm curious.
Well, I agree because it is taking over tech jobs, but I don't know if it would ever take on jobs like where you, like a plumber, like going into your house and actually fixing something, unless we figure out how to have robots and they could become heart surgeons. And I say robots loosely, but you get what I'm getting at. Like, right. If you use AI to have a robot or something of that matter to actually have an open heart surgery without a doctor actually, human being doctor actually standing there over top of another human being doing these things. Can we program that maybe in 50, maybe 100 years? I mean, I'll steal one from Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm sure you guys know who he is, but if you don't, he's been living under a rock. But like he said about electric cars, no one wants electric cars, but eventually it's going to happen. The same way we went from the industry of riding stagecoach, horse and buggy with horses. Everyone was riding horses, and then in 10 years, horses went away, that whole industry went away, and we were driving cars. Well, what about people that still want to ride horses? Well, you build them stables. The same way with self-driving cars, electric cars. Well, what if people still want to drive gasoline cars? Well, we'll build you a racetrack. You can drive your gas guzzling car on a racetrack. But eventually, society is just going to be electric cars.
I agree.
Right.
And speaking on that front, there is new battery technology now that I've watched from a couple of my tech YouTubers, and there's new battery technology coming down the pipeline of solid state batteries that are 100 times more efficient and 100 times denser per volume. And Apple, sometime before 2030, we will have an iPhone that has super amazing specs where you'll only have to charge it like once every 3 days. And like these are real technologies that are being developed. And so you're right. And at that point, once you have capability of doing 100 times more efficiency and 100 times denser per volume of power capability, then at that point, electric cars make way more sense. When you can go like 1,500 miles per charge, and it also takes like 15 minutes to charge your battery back up, at that point, obviously electric batteries are going to be but also you have to have an electrical frame that can manage it. A huge percentage of the American landscape still burns coal for its electricity. So although you're not burning it in the car, to get the electricity in your car still requires coal being burnt. That means the entire electrical grid would have to go to some sort of clean energy to actually dissipate the offset of fuel burning, right? And until that happens, it's literally just removing it one step away. It's making the system more complicated without solving the problem that electric cars are supposed to solve. I mean, that's my thoughts on the matter. Because what's the difference? You're either burning oil in a car or you're burning coal in an electric factory. Well, you know what I mean?
AI fails at one thing it can never succeed at. And it will always fail is human instinct or human error. You can't make that shit up.
Right. Now, I will say as well, we do have robots now that are being used. Like, let's take a moment and look. I know Elon Musk is incredibly controversial, but he has something called the neurochip, right? Neuralink. This is done with a robotic arm. They now have they have the 3.0 version of the robotic arm, and it's literally doing the whole surgery by itself. And it does everything on its own. It is an arm connected to a wall, and it drills the hole in the head, it pulls the skin back, it dilates everything, and it puts every aspect of every wire into the brain, like with the precision that a human never could. So it's not about if it's going to happen, but when. Like, doctors will become no longer necessary for every field. Like, anyone who says my job can't be taken over is probably going through some level of denial, in my opinion. And like I said, I had two stories here. Let me give you an example, right? I'll give you an example of something that happened this last week that helps prove this. Hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Excuse me. All right, so Amazon released a letter to... Thank you. Amazon released a letter to its employees this last week. And basically, I don't have the letter in front of me, but Casket, if you want to pull it up, it's everywhere online right now. If you want to read it. And I'm going to give you the TLDR version. If Casket wants to Google it and then share it on screen, he can. This letter, just type in Amazon letter about AI to employees. And basically, this letter is telling employees that they need to start learning how to utilize AI, because if they don't, they're basically going to get fired and replaced. Like, Amazon has a contract with a robotics company, and by 2030, they want at least 80% of factory jobs in Amazon factories to be robots. and humans just overseeing what the robots are doing. A small percentage of humans. So that means, and right now, Amazon has a massive percentage of employees. Like they're a huge company. And so when you're talking about 80% of a company that big, 80% of their workforce being laid off within the next 5 years, that's not a small percentage of people.
Yeah, but you're saying.
Go ahead, Floyd.
But you're saying human beings overseeing AI. I mean, this might be a dumb analogy, but that's the same way as humans overseeing animal or livestock.
For now, it's humans overseeing AI.
You still need a human being to do things.
Yeah, but the problem is, Floyd, you only need a handful of human beings to oversee hundreds of robots. What happened to the hundreds of people that were replaced with robots? They are now unemployed, and the likelihood of them getting employment elsewhere is lower because AI is taking jobs everywhere. Then we're going to see a mass rise of unemployment. That is definitely going to happen.
Would AI be able to do my job now?
Not now.
Probably
no,
not.
not now.
In a couple years, maybe. I mean, there's been welding robots. That's been a thing for I don't know how long.
At least by like 2013, 2010. Like they would have them in factories.
Even longer than that. Robot welder's been around for a very, very long time, but
yeah,
I couldn't give you the story or the rundown on it because I never messed with those things. But the hands-on things, like I'm saying, like, are we going to have robots going into? I say robots loosely, but you get what I'm saying. Are we going to have robots coming into human beings' houses to fix our sink if we have a clog in our sink? Or, is it taking those jobs or is it taking tech jobs? And then you got to factor in.
Go ahead.
Factor in, we're going to what's that word? I'm going to butcher it. Militarize.
Yeah.
Yeah, militarize AI. That's going to be the next thing.
Dude, it's already being militarized. Let me tell you what happened.
Jesus Christ, real quick, Krusty. Jesus Christ. From World War I to World War II, tanks were a thing in World War I, but they weren't fucking a thing or perfected until World War II. Just think, from the first time the brothers, I can't even remember the names, the guys that figured out how to fly like a bird in the air, human beings.
The Wright brothers,
yeah,
from North Carolina.
And then 1930, we're flying
off of Cape Cove.
We're flying fucking jets in the fucking air and shooting each other down.
Yeah. Now, Casket, I am going to ask you to look up that Amazon letter given to employees. Can you do that?
Yeah, give me a second.
Go ahead and pull that letter up. It's a quick Google search away about AI. And while you're pulling that up, yeah, here's the thing. Here's how I see it going down. You asked a great question there, Floyd. Like, what are they going to have robots come into your house? I say no.
This came out on the 17th, or
approximate, yeah.
All right, so I think
let's let Casket read the letter. We'll respond to it, and then we'll continue.
You're gonna make the dyslexic do it? All right, fuck. All right,
funny. By the way, I just cracked beer number 5.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, Casket. Sorry, chat. Hold on.
Floyd's got to get beer number 5. While we wait for Casket to read the letter, I'm going to say this. Here's how I see it going down. I'll go ahead and respond to your question, Floyd. I think what's going to happen is we are within like 600 days of being able to purchase a home robot for about $10,000. I know a lot of people say $10,000, that's a fucking lot of money. There's no way I can afford a home robot for $10,000. Do you know how much a used vehicle costs right now that has over 120,000 miles on it?
Think of the 19. I agree with you completely, Cressy. Money differed from the time, but think of the early 1900s. How much do you think it costs a family that wasn't poor, but very enough wealthy to own a horse and stagecoach, horse and buggy, you know.
Actually, it was easier for a family to own a horse and buggy than it is now for a family to have their own house. I'm going to give you a wild statistic, and go ahead and look it up, guys. I support every statistic I'm giving. In the 1980s or the 1970s, a home would cost the equivalent of a 2-year income of a single person. Nowadays, if you're a single person and you want to buy a home which is of average price, $400,000, it's going to take the equivalency of 7 years of income. So between the 1970s and now, the U.S. dollar has degraded that much. And so we look at the things from the past and say, wow, this must have been super expensive. But it's as in comparison to, you have to look at it through the lens of the comparison to the average income of the time, right? Like owning your own home in the time of carriage and buggy was a lot easier than it is to own a home now. If you're looking at income versus price of house. You know what I mean? Like it is that way. It really is that way. Like the dollar has lost a lot of value. All right, did you get your fifth beer there, Floyd?
I did, my friend.
All right, I haven't started drinking mine yet. Casket, give us a 3, 2, 1, and then read that letter.
3, 2, 1, drink.
Drink. All right, Casket, read that letter, please.
All right, today in virtually every corner of the company, we're using generative AI to make customers' lives better and easier. What started as deep conviction that I can't fucking read this, dude.
You have to. Just give it your best shot. It'll be funny. Come on, Casket. Read it.
Deep conviction or whatever that every... God damn it. Dude, I can't fucking read this shit.
Come on, it's funny. Just try.
Dude, go fuck yourself. I've been struggling with this my whole life. I'm not doing it.
Oh, come on!
You want to read the letter? You fucking read it.
Oh, my God. Casket, come on. You can... I know you... All right,
I'm
Jeff,
dyslexic and high. Leave me alone.
Jeff, get your ass in here. We need someone to read this letter. Fuck me. Jeff, we need you. I'm calling upon you. Damn it.
Who gives a fuck? It's a letter. They're saying they're going to replace you if you don't use AI. There, that's the letter.
Yeah, but AI will... That's what I'm saying. AI is good, but it's fucking bad, too. Okay, it's taking jobs, but I can guarantee you, once we figure this out, or figure AI out to a good point, human beings are going to live longer.
Yeah, well, okay, in the long term, there is a good chance.
Yeah, think about it, man. Back in the 1800s, these assholes, I say assholes like an asshole, but people were dying from fucking diseases, fucking, I don't know, what was a big thing back in like the 1800s? Tuberculosis and shit. When you lived in your 30s, that meant old. Humans progressively... Yeah.
We would all be considered old men from the 1800s. We would all be old men right now.
Yeah, but now it's like...
Now we're considered middle age. It's wild.
Yeah, and it just changes. AI might be able to help people live longer, you know.
It already is.
It will.
It already is. It's helping to define different genetic mutations that cause rapid aging. Right now, like when I was in undergrad, not even grad school, when I was in undergrad, my science professor was talking about how AI had already figured out the genetic proteins within the genomes of the DNA that cause the degenerative properties of the alleles. And they've already started ripping those out in rats and seeing what happens through the CRISPR process. And now they've had rats that have lived 5 to 6 times longer than the average rat life expectancy. Now, the problem with doing that is 50% of these rats developed cancer because when you have cells that replicate without degenerative diseases, they absolutely can develop cancer at a higher rate. So obviously this never went on to further human testing, but that shows that aging is a byproduct developed within our DNA. And if we could figure out how to hack that properly, we can not only freeze the aging process, but we can even reverse it. It's not a matter of if that's going to happen, but will it happen in our lifetimes? That's the real question, because eventually it's going to happen. They've already proven the concept.
Oh, yeah. But now, think of it even this. What if AI, the day AI figures out the cure for cancer, and I mean all cures for cancer.
And I hope it does.
Oh, I do too. I mean, I think everyone, even in the chat, Casket, Krusty, myself, at least you know someone or know someone that dealt with something that came from cancer. I'm sure of it because it's a common fucking thing in our species. But I think if AI could figure out the cure for cancer, that's the end of. I think that would be the end of.
Okay, there's three. There's three big fruits on this tree. Massive fruits. Three of the biggest death-causing attributes on the tree of life is one is cancer. That's one of the biggest three hanging fruits. Two is brain degenerative diseases such as Alzheimer's and dementia. If we live longer but we still develop these mental diseases, what's the point? We won't even know who we are.
Krusty, are you saying, or not? I got to cut you off. Are you saying the biggest killer of humans?
I'm saying the three biggest. Oh God, dang that lightning outside! Sorry. Okay, you know what? Let me put it this way: the three biggest hurdles that humans have. One is cancer. Actually, one isn't even cancer. One is heart disease. Heart disease is the number one killer in all what's considered class 1 civilizations. America, fucking Australia, fucking England, all of these places that are class 1 civilizations, the biggest killer is heart disease. So if we can fix that with AI, if we can fix cancer with AI, and if we can fix brain degenerative diseases, guess what? Then having a long life is not only possible, but then it can be not only good, but it could be meaningful because you're not going to forget who you are. You're not going to be drilling on yourself. You're not going to be becoming enraged. You know what I mean? Those are the three biggest fruits.
I don't think. Now, this is just a hypothetical, obviously, because our whole conversation is a hypothetical because we don't know where AI is going to take us. But I don't think AI can cure a heart disease if someone decides to eat like shit, drink like shit, smoke cigarettes, and just lets himself go. That's a human thing you're doing to yourself.
Right.
AI can't tell you to eat all that food or fucking smoke a pack of cigarettes a day or drink a fucking bottle of whiskey every night, you know.
Right. Earlier today, you referenced Neil deGrasse Tyson, right?
Correct.
I'm going to reference him again here. I'm going to give my own reference.
He's one of the smartest people on the planet. Now, the chat or you guys may not agree with that, but he is one of the smartest people. And
I'll put it this way. My physics professor said that he's not smart, but he has the charisma for a stage. Now, I'm not saying in basic level, but here's what he said himself, and you can look up this quote, and I suggest you do it. Take everything I say as a grain of salt until you look it up yourself. Here's what he said. He said that he predicts, based off of his conversations with people in the AI development world, by 2040, all mental diseases will be cured. That means binge eating. People won't be overeating food. People won't be under-eating food. People won't be, needing to use devices such as cigarettes or alcohol. like all mental diseases will be cured, because as of right now, here's what's happening right now in the psycho world, like in the psycho development world. Let me tell you where we are scientifically speaking. We have AI programs now that have completely mapped out every part of the brain for the most part. Like, obviously, that's like saying we've mapped out the ocean. We've mapped out the top part of the ocean. We've mapped out the top part of the brain. Right, we're at the same level. We've seen, so we have a basic understanding of what's going on, but AI can understand the brain well enough that it can know what you're going to choose before you know what you're going to choose, because every choice that you're going to make literally comes from the subconscious into the consciousness, and it can make predictions up to 6 seconds into knowing what you're going to do before you do it, which really throws into the matter of what is free will? Because if a robot knows what you're going to do with a 99.7% accuracy before you do it, then do you really have free will not to do that? And the answer is probably not. But what else I'm getting at here, this is where I was going to. That was a side tangent. Now that they've mapped the brain, if you're looking at an image or if you're thinking of something, AI can now tell the world what you're thinking and what you're looking at, as long as it's monitoring your brain. We can now read the brain, and it can make an accurate prediction as to what it is you're thinking of or looking at, which is wild that we can do that. And that is with primitive AI. This is from like 2023. Imagine doing stuff like that with AI from 2030. It's only going to get better. And with the development of that technology comes treatment modalities where AI can fix the human brain. If someone overeats, like Casket King, it will be able to literally turn off that center in his brain to make it where he becomes disgusted with food. He will have that. It'll be a toggle on his phone. He'll have like a phone where he can turn off his hunger with a flip of a switch. That's
So what
going to
you're
happen.
saying, so what you're saying is AI will be able to develop how to deal with a human error or human thinking.
Right, and this will, as a result, cure heart disease for future generations. Right?
I don't
As a
believe.
result of that, right?
I don't believe that.
So you don't think it'll fix heart disease?
Maybe in a different way, but not going into the human brain to understand how a human brain works to fix a human error.
It'll be able
Anything
to.
of that.
You know what? You're right. As of right now, it's speculative. I am in the camp that it's going to be able to do it based off of, even if it continues to make advancements of 1% per year, eventually it'll hit 100%. You know, like that's my logical understanding on the matter.
But we're in a country, at least in America, I believe us three all live in the United States of America.
Right.
Correct. I can't speak for everyone in the chat, but other countries are not this advanced in AI. Some other countries don't even have AI. I'm talking about a species of humans right now. You know, us all on Earth. Like, the shit ain't going to happen overnight. It might happen over here in America, but that shit can't happen overnight. And I don't think.
Well, that's what we're all privileged in that way.
I just don't think, Krusty. You know, you're a friend, and I hear you. We're. I don't want to call it a debate. We're just talking to each other, but I got to disagree with you on that one, my friend.
Okay, we can disagree. I respect the fact that you want to disagree. And, you know, I will tell you this. Like earlier today, I was speaking with a couple of colleagues of mine in my field. I've already spoken publicly about this, so I won't spend too much time on this. In my field, therapist notes where I work at are done by AI. It listens to the entire therapy session, and then I sign off on the therapy notes, which means AI has already crept its way in to my field. Like, it's only a matter of time until it takes over. Like, here's the conversation I had with a couple of colleagues earlier. What happens when the unemployment rate let's say hits 20%. Let's not even go to a wild explanation of like 50% or 80%. Let's say 20% of the U.S. population, 1 in 5 people, can't get a job ever again.
Well, now you're
What
just leaving
happens now?
people. Now you're just leaving people homeless. Now, if AI takes over all these jobs, now we're going to go back almost to biblical times where people couldn't afford shit and live in famine, and we even live in that now. Now you're just going to make it worse. So humans will just lay out on the streets and do nothing. No one could get a job and help or do anything. So.
But what's the answer? How do we fix this problem? That's literally the conversation I had with my colleagues, is what's the answer to that? Because it's going to happen. It will happen sometime in the next decade. We're going to see at least 20% minimum unemployment. 20% of the population can't be on disability or unemployment. It can't be. Like the entire the system as we know it will fall apart at that
Well,
level.
then the system falls apart, man. We just, if everyone's out of a job, if AI takes over that much and everyone's out of a job, then you're just going to start an uprising, and these big corporations, where they make money and this and that, they it's all about money in the end. But what about the people that are doing your job? Okay, you're going to replace them with AI. Okay, so what about the asshole that was doing your job that you replace with AI? Now he's out of a job. How many people are going to be without a job if AI starts taking over? It ain't going to work out.
Well, see, my thoughts on the matter is this. Like, it's going to be a problem that we are going to have to face. Whoever the president is after Trump, that's going to be one of the biggest things they're going to have to campaign on in order to get presidency, because it will just have to be human security. They're going to either campaign on making sure jobs. Oh, who just joined?
Alice.
Welcome, Alice.
Welcome to the podcast.
Podcast?
Yes. Now, whoever is going to be running after Trump will have to be running on the campaign of human jobs need to remain human jobs only. But there's a problem to that. The problem is they've given AI companies a 10-year window without regulation, which means that until that 10 years is up, we can't regulate it now. That's absolutely signed in now. So that means that whatever consequences happen are going to happen, and trust me when I say they're going to happen. If we reach 20% unemployment with a lower birth rate, Gen Alpha is the smallest generation we have in living history, by almost 30% smaller than millennials, and based off of the statistical data of Gen Alpha, about 30%, 33 to 37% don't plan on having children, and those who do only plan on having one, except for about 5% that plan on having 2 or more. The generation after Generation Alpha is going to be even significantly smaller than them. Like we're talking about a shrinking population rate on side of AI taking jobs. It's going to be a disaster. So how do you fix humans not having jobs and humans not being able to support the infrastructure that currently exists? Like we're coming at this from multiple directions, guys.
Well, Theodore Roosevelt figured out that we need Social Security for people that work, need to have something to back their ass up on when they retire.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
If AI goes the direction that you're saying, where it puts that many human beings out of jobs, then society will collapse upon itself, and that's it. That These assholes that, world leaders, presidents, whatever you want to call them, they're assholes, but they're not dumb enough to not understand. Sitting in a fucking room, they already had this conversation. You know, AI cannot replace that many human beings. It can make life easier on companies, make life easier on the human being and stuff, but you're still going to have people work. That's just the way it is.
Well, what does work look like in a world where humans are obsolete? What does human work look like in that world? Not only what does human work look like, but can we? And we live in a capitalistic society. Like everyone in here, well, except for Alice, is from America, and our value is based off of our contribution to the machine, which is capitalism. What can you do? Are you a part of the machine? You know, and we are taught that our value comes from the work that we do. We're absolutely taught that. And the problem is we have a lot of people who are mentally trained that way, and we're going to have to help these people whenever the job market starts to shrink, because they're not going to be, we're going to have to help them find where does happiness come from? What does meaning come from outside of capitalism? And that's going to, I genuinely believe that might break capitalism apart. It might, because here's the thing: if the best case scenario is 20% of the population is no longer employable. That's literally the best case scenario, is 20%. If that is the case, 1 in 5 people can't be employed again. That's a massive margin of the population, humongous margin of the population. What happens to those people? How can we provide value to them outside of the meaning of capitalism? And can capitalism exist whenever they have to support 1/5 of the population for funding? Like whether it be UBI, unemployment, or disability, that is a huge amount of money of tax dollars that will be going to fund 1/5 of the populace outside of the money that's already being cultivated to fund the populace of those who are aging out of work and already on disability, which is already like the biggest portion of the U.S. debt. Like that's the biggest portion of the U.S. salary goes to, Medicaid and Medicare, disability, and retire. Like those avenues take up already the majority, which in my opinion will result in the U.S. dollar becoming worthless, or capitalism being replaced.
That would never happen.
Okay, I hope not. The only way
the U.S. dollar would never become worthless, Krusty. Come on.
Okay. The only way that it wouldn't become worthless is if we ignored 1/5 of the population in order to prevent inflation due to overprinting dollars, which we would have to do in order to support 20% of the population, and that's best case scenario. I mean, that's my opinion on the matter.
I feel like we already ignore a lot of the population already.
Dude, every goddamn year, we shouldn't even get in this conversation because then it goes into politics, which this podcast doesn't go into. So I'm not even going to say.
No, okay. I've been talking a lot. I want to open the floor up. What do you guys think about all this? Let's just be open.
Well, I had some AI news, but we've only got 7 minutes left, so
it's almost, what time is it?
Almost 8 o'clock.
I thought the podcast was 2 hours.
No, we've only been doing it for an hour for like the last month and a half.
Okay, I have a question, and let's change topics. When are we going to go onto the new YouTube channel, Casket?
I don't know. As soon as I can figure out how to fucking change the stupid stream keys between my channels.
YouTube channel? What is that?
We'll go ahead and announce it here. We have created an entire channel just for the podcast. I will be advertising it on my channel. Casket will advertise it on his. Like me, Jeff, and Casket has agreed that based off of YouTube algorithm, it's good to have the podcast on its own channel. And that's what we are focusing on going forward.
So going forward, the podcast will not be on Casket's channel. It will be on its own separate.
At some
Yes,
point,
Casket.
yes.
Casket, would you like to say the name of the new YouTube channel so
It's
that
the
people
Casket
can...
Crew podcast channel.
Literally, the Casket Crew podcast. That's the name of the new YouTube channel. Only the podcast will ever be uploaded there, and we're going to be doing it once a week. Like, that's going to be it. So, I guess we will go ahead and end it at an hour. That's fine with me. I'm used to 2 hours. I was like, this is the intermission break for me. No Jeff, no historian. Fine, screw you guys. You don't want to come on? We'll do it without you.
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, Floyd's here. We got Floyd and Alice. Okay, right.
Hey, I'll leave the chat. Not leave the chat, but since we only got a couple minutes, when everyone in the chat go to bed tonight or think, what if we were the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs?
Good point, Floyd. What if AI is the asteroid that kills human?
I don't know, man. What if we lived on Mars and the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs were the human beings, and we had to leave Mars and we crash landed here?
Well, I tell you what,
that's where
sorry,
you get the name Adam and Eve, the first two humans to crash land on Earth because we had to get the fuck off of Mars. Excuse my language.
I'll tell you this much, Floyd. How far are you on beer number 4, my man?
Wait, Cressy, I thought we were on beer number 5.
No, we cracked beer number 4 at the beginning. I was getting ready to crack beer number 5.
Brother, I'm on beer. Well, wait.
Oh, you know what? I may have drinking 5 and I may have drinking 4 and 5 together.
Be the beer in which you forget how to count.
I'm counting. No, I'm on beer number 4. I have like 2 sips left, but I have beer number 5 sitting here. Never mind.
Okay,
but
all right, we have a couple of minutes left until the end of the podcast. We started on beer 4. If you can chug that, we can crack beer number 5 before the end. That way it starts with a beer and it ends with a beer.
Okay, I have my beer number 5 right now.
Did you finish beer 4?
Yes.
All right. Also, everybody out there, that is right. Go subscribe to the Casket Crew Podcast YouTube channel. Going forward, starting next week, we will be uploading there. Casket will be making a video on his channel this week, as well as I, to funnel people to the podcast channel. And we are going to start then, and we're excited, and we're happy about it. All right. I'm going to crack, or did you crack yours yet, Floyd?
I did, my friend.
All right, I'm cracking mine now. Hope you can hear it. Casket, give us a 3, 2, 1 as you did in the beginning.
3, 2, 1, drink.
Drink.
I'll be honest, this is number 6 for me. I drunk 2, you drunk 1.
Okay.
I got one level higher on the notch. I had to. I drunk 2 beers. So. Any last comments before we end the podcast? We've got 2 minutes left.
Fuck AI.
I mean, AI is going to be our god. Oh, man, there's so many AI stories I didn't cover today. Such as the guy who is dating it, who's married with a kid and a wife.
Oh, God, that guy's a freak.
But here's the thing. I didn't cover this today. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. The growing population of people dating AI is the fastest growing population of people in the dating world in America. More people are choosing to date.
I have something to say about that.
Well, let me rephrase. More young people are choosing to date AI than other humans.
Statistics. Humans aren't good at statistics.
What do you want to say about it?
To those people who are dating AI, fucking get a life and a real human being, Jesus Christ. And that's the end of the Casket Crew podcast. Goodbye, everybody.
See you next week on the new channel.
See you, friends.